We're here with Mississippi College head coach John Bland as we look ahead to this week's game against West Georgia. But, Coach, first of all, let's take a look back at last week's win over Shorter. 37-24 was the final score. Talk a little bit about the atmosphere on the sideline when DJ Smith intercepted that pass and was going right down in front of all the Choctaw team, right down towards the end zone to seal the win.
Well, it was a good feeling right there, knowing that he had a chance, and I was just kept my eye on the sideline to make sure he didn't step out, and didn't see an official marking him to go out. You know how close they can be, and that was really good because that was a battle right up to the end. We knew that we were in control of the game at one point, but if we continue to not take advantage of the opportunities we had, but also Shorter is an explosive team. They scored 27 points on West Georgia, who we know is a really good football team, and they have one of the best defenses in the league. So we knew they were explosive. We knew they had opportunities, knowing and not really taking into account their record. But so we had to really stay on top of it the whole game. We gave them some chances, and they got back in the ball game.
Well, that was one of the big defensive plays in the game. I think it was a game of big defensive plays for the Choctaws. Yes. 3 interceptions, and then that goal line stand at the end of the first half where Dalton Frederick comes up and they had a first and goal at the 1, 4 seconds to play, and they don't score. That was really big for momentum.
It was huge, and I was glad they went for it instead of kicking a field goal because they could have gotten points right there. And I'm sure they were thinking, we're behind 28-7. This is an opportunity to get back in the game with a touchdown. And the way we were moving the football the first half, they felt like they probably had to score a touchdown, and that was really big for us. I know that right there at the first of that drive, I called a timeout thinking, knowing how explosive they were, knowing how they could get points back on the board, I wanted to see if we could get some more ourselves because we had the momentum at the time. Well, they made a first down on their second run, and in that drive right there, those Shorter took their time, but they ran the ball 5 times and threw it one big pass right in a small window, and they made a big play, but we made a stop on the one there, and that was big for us.
You know, another individual that had a good game was Calvin Sims Jr., just a redshirt freshman, and he came up with some really big plays in key situations for you on Saturday.
They sure did, and I know he got Freshman of the Week in the Gulf South Conference, which you got rewarded for that. We had several guys that got Conference Player of the Week. Derek Hawthorne also was the Defensive Player of the Week. And in our MC at Mississippi College, DJ Smith was the Athlete of the Week. So Male Athlete of the Week. That was just good to see those guys getting rewarded a little bit for big plays, and because the team does really well, and that's the ultimate thing is we win. But when you have big games and big plays, it's good to see those guys get rewarded.
Well, the Choctaws had that 28-7 lead, as you mentioned, at the half, and it just goes to show you what happened to the second half, how important it is to make sure that you play well from the very start and, if possible, build that kind of lead because every team in this league, top to bottom, is capable of making a comeback on you.
No doubt they are, and it is a game of 60 minutes, and you have to be at your best. Of course, this league is really, really strong. It's about as strong as there is in the country. And we'll face someone this week in West Georgia. Obviously, we'll need to play our best for 4 quarters. And I think we haven't seen that yet. We've seen a lot of really, really good. And we've seen some where we're not quite as good. And I think that's the difference. The one thing that's different about this team this year, we've been probably capable of winning every game. And we need to obviously play really, really well to beat some of the better teams and continue to make big plays, continue to make big stops and create turnovers and not turn the football over. All those things combined will get us more victories, and I think versus quality opponents, we're going to face one in West Georgia for sure.
Yeah, the Wolves come in tonight. They're 8-0 on the season. They hung on against West Alabama last week, but they've got an excellent running back, Devontae Jackson, one of the best in the league, so it's going to be a tough task.
No doubt. He's very electric. I mean, he is very hard to tackle, one-on-one for sure, almost impossible. So we're going to have to, just like anyone else, gang tackle. We've got to have everybody running the football extremely hard. We've got to wrap up and grab and hang on, and he's very good. Now, he's not the only one, though. Their quarterback can put the ball where he wants it. He can throw the ball extremely well. They've got good pass protection. So they're an overall solid football team. On special teams, they're very good. Defensively, they run to the football exactly just like you would think the #1 defense as far as scoring defense in the league would be. You know, West Al had an opportunity, though. They missed 2 extra points, and that's the difference in the ball game, 27-25. They also got an onside kick there at the end, even after they had missed those 2, and there was a penalty on the play. So they had chances to win that ball game. They played extremely hard, is exactly what we're going to have to do.
Now the Choctaws are sitting at 3-4 overall, and a chance to get to 500, 8 games into the season. I think that's indicative of just how far this program's come in the last couple of years.
Well, it has been, and that's the thing. You know, if you look back at our schedule so far, you can look back and say, you know what, we have made tremendous strides, but you can also get frustrated and say, man, we could have even had more, won more ball games, and that's kind of the way we want our team thinking. We want them to not be satisfied with just being having a chance to go 500, but knowing we could have went one more. And what do we do from here on in to get those wins instead of those losses? So we've seen them work extremely hard over the past few weeks. I think we're continually to getting better on all sides of the ball. I'm talking about offense, defense, and in special teams. So we've got guys that are still pushing and motivated to be the best they can be.
And finally, Coach, you'll be back at home after 3 games on the road, back at home for the first time in a month. It'll be homecoming, and I know we saw what the crowd can do the early part of the season, how much they can do to add to the Choctaws' chances of winning a game. It'll be important for a homecoming crowd to be in it this week.
Yes, it will, and I think I think our fans are as supportive or more supportive than anybody in the league. I see that every week. I go around, and I'm not just focusing on their crowd, but it's hard not to focus on ours when we're at home. And the good thing about it is we had several games at home early on, and they were supportive from start to finish. This is going to be probably the best that we've seen, though, knowing that it's homecoming, and the crowd is always good there. And so I'm excited about it. I think the weather is going to be perfect, and hopefully we just have a great day on the field and off, and enjoy everybody's company, everybody coming back to visit Mississippi College and their campus. That's exciting for us to be able to play West Georgia on this day.
Well, Coach, as always, we appreciate your time. We wish you good luck in the game.
Thank you.